What's good, everybody? Before we get started on today's crazy fucking episode of Veterans Minimum, big ups to the members of the Patreon. We got Arabia, Daniel Gibson, Mahul Patel, Thomas Robinson, Abel Rezin, Ben Kotzian, Christopher Velasquez, Derek Platees, Devin Rendon, Dylan Chadwick, Jerry Shapiro, Jordan Riley, Mike Stevens, Nicholas Messina, and Nick Crummage. Thank you all for your contributions to the show and to the Patreon, patreon.com/Veterans Minimum. What a fucking chaotic weekend this was, huh, George?
It's the wildest weekend that the NBA could have ever staged. I don't know. We'll find out more, Nick.
Well, yes,
on this episode.
Yes, we will. We're talking about Luka and Anthony Davis, the trade going down. What the hell is going on? Then we have a very special guest, friend of the podcast, Bill Krackomberger, at Bill Crackman on social media, an iconic figure in the sports betting space. I would say a Mount Rushmore sports betting personality in the space.
Will be in the Circa Sportsbook Hall of Fame when it's all said and done.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
Yeah, and we kind of touch on a couple props. Very insightful conversation on the sports betting space, what he likes, what he dislikes. And it was fun. Definitely sit back, relax, enjoy it. Programming notes. Later this week, George and I are going to do our Ursalitas, our In This Economy, all that fun stuff, themed with the props for the weekend. And then we're going to do like a full breakdown of the game, X's and O's. We haven't really given out our official picks. We'll give those on the Thursday show, but I think a lot of people have an idea of what's good and where we're leaning. So enjoy this one. Rate, review, subscribe wherever you're listening. Thank you all so much for the support during the football season. It's been amazing. We're winding down. It's the main event now. Championship rounds, Super Bowl week. Let's get shit popping. Isaiah, play the theme music.
Yeah. Nick Dad, baby. We the new label.
Yeah. Now this the black sheep sticking its home. I need a crib like I'm Gatsby.
I need it.
In hand, just understand my
Pockets that deep.
with nothing to prove. I ain't got nothing to do. When they can't compete and I got nothing to lose. You see, they told me I'm the one that's gonna benefit.
Yes. What's good, everybody? Welcome back to Veterans Minimum. I'm your host, Nick Dais, at Nick Dais 10 as you can find me. All things Veterans Minimum are at Veterans Minimum. I caught the intro. Isaiah fucked it up. I'm not going to edit this. Go Birds. He is our residential Eagles fan.
Yep.
George, but he's been doing good. I feel like he was due, right?
Due for the Birds making the Super Bowl or for an intro mishap?
Intro mishap.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I think sometimes he just does it on purpose. Funny, he's wearing Chiefs colors today.
Yeah, like, yo, what's good with that,
He's
bro?
wearing the Ops colors
That
and it's
is
Super Bowl
crazy.
week. What in the world is
You'll never see me in Patriots colors during the Super Bowl, the glory. Even though the Giants and Pats
to say,
had
what?
same
Bro, they're the same color.
They did it. They did have the same color. Oh my goodness. It's Super Bowl week, but the NBA stepped in with fucking chaos over the weekend.
Stepped in or kick the doors down, SWAT takeover. That's what they did. That's what they did, Nick. Nick, where were you when the Luka and AD trade happened?
I was home rewatching the Royal Rumble, which I had already watched earlier in the day. And then I was home watching the Royal Rumble. And I, like everyone else did, thought that Shams got hacked. And then there was a follow-up tweet by him saying, no, these are the details to the trade. And then Bobby Marks from ESPN said, no, this is a real thing. And then before you know it, everyone's like, holy shit, firing off their theories, firing off their thoughts. And let me just ask you this.
Okay.
Just in general, when something like that goes down,
Mm-hmm.
do you feel like you have to rush to give an opinion, or do you like sitting back and collecting your thoughts first before you fire off? Because I'll give you my answer quick. Well, because I didn't tell you I was going to ask you this. I sometimes will take a day or two to really give out my thoughts. That's why I love having a platform like this where we could talk about it. Because even in the Discord, people are like, yo, what do you think of the trade and whatnot? It's like, bro, there's so much to digest, right? do you feel like you sit and wait? Do you feel like we maybe miss out on a chance to go viral and capitalize on the trending topic?
I think the way to go viral from that is just to make those videos where the boyfriend is trying to explain to the girlfriend what this trade is like in their world. So like they're using like makeup influencers and shit like that. I found that content to be hilarious because it's true. You know, like it's everything that they listed off, right? It was like Beyonce leaving Destiny's Child and being replaced by Raven Simone of Cheetah Girls. That shit was iconic.
Yeah.
Was my brain thinking that, Nick? No, because I'm thinking too like legitimate. I'm like, what is really the deal here? Like, why did this trade take place so late? First off, that's sus. What trade takes place at 9:35 at night?
Pacific time.
Pacific.
Which means it's midnight in the East Coast.
Yeah, it leads me to believe there was a little bit of drinking, possibly. There was a little bit of abusing somebody at their maybe sleepiest moments. I don't know. Like, that's where my brain's going, right? Because it's like I can't just try to relate this and create funny content. So it is important to wait. I've really been waiting, and I think we all have, for the response by AD and Luka, and that will be when I'm like, now it's time to really fire off some sick shit. Because right now, up to this point, it's really just what the Mavs GM said, and what Coach Kidd didn't really say. That's what we're left with. What about? Oh well, you did answer. So it is better to wait. Fuck. It's the wildest trade in sports history. I know people are saying NBA history for sure. But this one's pretty cataclysmic.
So here's the thing, right? Like, I think, and you know, we get so consumed by the NFL season. Our show does the best when we talk NFL. Honestly, a lot of sports shows do the best when they talk NFL because there's urgency. There's one game a week. There's a lot of storylines. And of course, we've vented many times about the product in the NBA just being unwatchable, guys sitting out, guys missing time. Ironically enough, the two guys that got traded have missed a bunch of time this year, right? I was trying so hard to think of like a crazier trade when you take all things into consideration. And like, bro, I can't think of one. I can't think of one where a guy who's 25 years old in Luka is not in his prime yet, has been all NBA 5 straight years, every statistical category for a player through 7 years. He's like with the Bird, Magic, LeBrons of the world, Jordans.
Mm-hmm.
All NBA, like I said, he's 25 years old. I mean, like, is going to sign 2 more Supermax deals. Coming off a finals appearance. It has to be the wildest trade ever. Yeah. Because it's so wild that, like, Anthony Davis is a fucking hell of a player. Right. And, you know, he's been a punching bag over the years of, you know, he jams a pinky, he's out for 2 weeks. He stubs his toe, he's out for 3 weeks. He pulls a hamstring. But when he's on, bro, he's 28-12, right? Like, this guy is a dominant force. But the way it's being portrayed, it's like they traded Luka for 2 extra timeouts a game. Like, it's really, it's like, well, now you guys have 7 timeouts a half as opposed to 5. Like, that's how crazy it is because of Luka, bro. Luka's 25 years old. And that's the thing, George, why I think it's so crazy. You trade him well before he's in his holy shit, this 7-year stretch is about to be crazy because that's what it's entering.
Mm. Yeah, you can't get rid of that piece and think that it is title time now, which is what they said it is. This is a move in which the Mavericks feel like it's going to help them win now. Am I crazy to think that there's a legitimate case that this year that move could help them later on in the playoffs? Like, You're getting a aggravated Anthony Davis. When Anthony Davis left the Pelicans and he went to the Lakers, I mean, bro, top 3 player, top 4 player in the league when that happened. He was unstoppable. And he's not far off of that, but given the fact that he has to deal with LeBron, he's not necessarily the primary, role player or the primary stud on that team. And now you have Kyrie, who's more of a facilitator, but he can get the basket when he wants. I think the move is like really good. And the fact that their odds jumped as drastic as it did, I don't know. Luka's been banged up this year. Like but it's tough to also price the NBA at this moment in time this year, or like last season. I think it was a week after our Super Bowl show. You were like Mavericks
40-1, yeah.
Mavericks 40-1.
Yeah, I just made all those trades for
Yep.
Washington and Gafford, and they made a couple deals. Yeah.
Yep. And their odds were 40-1 at the time with Luka. And now that number 40-1 pops up again, and you have a fucking top 100 all-time NBA player that's going to be in that spot. And that's so I think the Mavericks, sure, like they look stupid as fuck right now, but I don't know. You saw what the product was the last time you were in the finals.
Yeah.
And you lost 4-1.
You got swept.
You got swept,
Yeah.
respectfully. But
Yeah.
it was, I guess, as an organization, if it doesn't work and you did it again and then it doesn't work again, then like you're sitting here wondering, damn, could we have gotten more for Luka at the time instead of waiting till the end of the season?
Yeah. So you said a lot there that I want to address.
Mhm.
One thing, have I told you before about my 5-5-5-5 theory?
No.
All right. So this is how I like measuring whether or not a trade is good, or like, especially come playoff time, because I love betting playoff basketball. I do really well playoff basketball. It's one of my favorite sports to bet on. I don't like betting on regular season NBA because guys will just pop up on the injury report, or after it's 4:07 Pacific time, and they're like, Embiid's gonna sit, or John Morant is out. And you're like, what the fuck? I just took the Grizzlies -8. Oh, there goes that bet. I'm donating now. Now it's -2 because Ja's not playing, right?
Right.
So 5-5-5-5 theory. It's game 5, the series 2-2. So it's game 5. You're down 5, 5 minutes left. Who's the 5? Crunch time, right? Ginobili all those years was the 6th man of the year, but when the game was on the line, he was in there. So he was part of the 5. Now you're looking at it for the Mavericks, because I agree with you. I think it actually, in a weird way, it helps both teams, but differently. It helps the Mavericks this year. It helps the Lakers post LeBron. You got a top 3 guy in the league.
Yeah.
Top 3.
For sure.
And we'll get to more about Luka in just a second. But look, you got Kyrie, Klay Thompson, PJ Washington, Anthony Davis not having to play center, which was something he expressed. And then you have Gafford. And then off the bench, you have Dinwiddie. You have Lively also, right? And that's big. That's big. That's a team that could go into crunch time and you feel good about, right? What is the high pick and rolls going to look with Anthony Davis and Kyrie now? Is it going to stretch the field open for a Klay Thompson to be a spot up shooter, PJ Washington? So I like it for the Mavs for this year. Now, for the Lakers, it's great, I think, moving forward this year. Now you got 3 guys that don't play defense on the team. You got Reeves, who's a turnstile. You got LeBron, who, look, he's not the defender that he once was. I think he picks and chooses his spots.
Right.
And then you got Luka, who got absolutely exposed in the Celtics series, even though I was on the show weeks prior, like, yo, he actually has been playing really well defensively, like what he did in the Clippers series and like what he did with the Thunder. In the Thunder series, I should say. So, like, to me, that's the thing. I think you're right that it helps the Mavericks this year. But the flip side, what the fuck, man? Like, to me, the one thing selfishly as a Knicks fan, I was like, Mikal Bridges went for 5 ones.
Yeah.
Luka went for 1 first round pick. Durant Durant a couple years ago. Went for 4-1s, Bridges, and pick swaps. You're telling me the Knicks couldn't give up some shit? We gave up all that for Bridges. We couldn't get Luka to come through?
Yeah.
Would have liked Luka instead of Bridges, even though the Knicks are playing well. It'd be way nicer to have Luka. That's the thing that was shocking. Like, how bad was it in Dallas, bro, that they moved off this that quickly? Because it had to have been that too.
I have not been keeping track to see what the drama is with him. Surface level, the video that we saw at the end of last year's Western Conference final with the same GM that eventually traded his ass, taking the beer from his hand.
That was Michael Finley.
My bad.
Yeah,
You're right.
he's
You're
like
right.
player personnel. He's a part of the roster.
Part of the organization. Part of the
yeah.
organization definitely is in communication with, the grander scheme of it. They say that he's overweight. I mean, sure. Part of it is that I think it's the next evolution in his game in which Dallas isn't necessarily a market like Los Angeles, like New York, like Miami. It's growing, but you cannot compare the two.
Yeah.
I think this is just the next character evolution. This is where all the superstars go. The Lakers do it again for yet another decade. They are guaranteed to have a marquee superstar.
Which is how they've always
Always
acquired all of their talent. Every single big name Laker has always been a trade.
So bad at the draft.
Shaq, Kobe, fucking Wilt, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Magic. Well, no, they drafted Magic. I take that back. Okay, one guy. LeBron traded. You know what I mean? Dwight Howard they traded for. Didn't work out.
Right.
Anthony Davis traded. It's the same shit I said with L.A. Look at what L.A. did. They traded for Mookie Betts. They traded for Gretzky in the 90s.
Dude,
It's a city that they don't want to develop talent, bro. They want, I need a star. I need Matthew Stafford right now. It's cool. We could develop you, Jared Goff, but eventually it's like we have a hot new girl we could bring in. Yeah, let's bring her in from Detroit.
This is Los Angeles.
That's what we're doing. Yeah, so LA's always been like that. I've been waiting to rant on this for so long. The overweight thing.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't give a flying fuck about the overweight thing. Not one bit. You know why? Because he's clearly been productive. If he was overweight and he was Zion, missing 50 games a year, not living up to potential, this guy's first team All-NBA 5 straight years, took you to the finals. All right, he's a little heavy set. He's also European. That's how like the European style is. You look at Jokic, right? Not everyone is Giannis, the Greek freak, and all the money he's put into his body. For him, his PEDs is probably a cold beer after a game. After he just dropped 38 and 7 and 12.
Yeah.
Maybe he wants to sip on a Steve Weiser as we're in WrestleMania season. Shout out to Stone Cold Steve Austin. Maybe he likes drinking beers. I love drinking beers. But the fact that the weight thing, and they said that, he ballooned up to 260. More reports are going to come out because now it's the hit piece. Now they got to slander why they got rid of him.
Right.
I don't care. If the weight thing, he was averaging 12 points a game this year, I'd be like, all right, bro, we got to get in shape. But the fact that didn't change anything, that to me, wild overrated.
Yeah. I think it's overrated too. I do think that the part of being heavy that will eventually wear and tear on you is every bigger guy in the league, their knees give out on them, bro. Like it is a common trait in people that are hovering above 250, unless you're on the LeBron protocol, that you can't be that explosive playmaker. Not saying that that's where he makes his bread and butter, but it kind of is. He's explosive in the short term. He's not explosive in the speed past you, fucking yam it in. But he's quick enough to make people miss, and that's where he's really made a living in being able to get more first-team All-Pros than Steph Curry. Isn't that a fucking crazy statement? So I do think it's overrated. Does he need to lose a little bit of weight, in my opinion? Of course. I would never want to say, no, be a little bit heavier and slower. That's the way I want you. unless you're playing the 5. Like you carry the fucking rock. And I think now he's got LeBron's kind of health plan to follow, which will be really good for him. There's no way he doesn't lift up his shirt when they play the Mavs in Dallas in February. I swear to God, bro, I'd be like, just for the revenge pick, after an and one, just fucking ab pick.
Just shredded.
Yeah. I want that for him.
Yeah. Well,
But,
look, it's really interesting because what the Mavericks also did is they publicly fat shamed him, being like, "Yeah, we got rid of him." You know that he lost over $100 million because of this trade because he was eligible for $345 million extension, year and a half left on his contract, which in a weird way, not so sure he stays with the Lakers. It's not unless he signs an extension sometime this week.
Right.
But now that he's not with Dallas, he can't sign the Supermax. So he's going to lose about 112, I think, or $115 million. It's a lot. So you know he's going to be fucking pissed. I think it's February 25th and April 8th or 9th is when they play the Mavericks again. Over 70. he's going fucking ape shit that game, right? But yo, the Mavericks publicly fat shamed them. They're like, hey, we don't like that he got overweight. You know, and you know what I've said in the past, bro. I think bullying is dope when it's used effectively and it's used to better someone. Now, he lost over $100 million with this move, but I think the craziest thing for me is, can you think of a time where a player of this magnitude was traded who was like, all the Maverick fans are going through it right now. Like, this dude should have had a statue, which leads me to this. I no longer want to hear the term untouchable. Because if Luka can get traded, everybody available, bro. Everybody. Every single person in any sport or profession is available.
You can be replaced.
And what's crazy is it wasn't even for the right price. Like, this wasn't like we said before, bro. Listen, Mikal Bridges, I wish you nothing but the best. You play for my favorite basketball team. Knicks gave up 5 ones for Mikal Bridges. Durant went for 4 ones. None of them are 5 straight year all NBA first team players and are 25 years old, not even in your prime. So, yeah, the term he's untouchable, no. Now I think literally every single player on the planet in any sport, you could be had.
I love that.
There's only one guy I could think of right now as I was going off on this rant. It's probably Wemby. Wemby's probably the only guy right now that I'd be like, yeah, I'm not answering if you call me and I'm Greg Popovich and the Spurs. But even then, like, you know, the history of guys that tall, they have issues. So, like, honestly, I take that back. Everyone's on the menu. Everyone could be had. That's what I learned from this trade over the weekend, and that's what I was thinking about the most, George.
Yeah. My mind went immediately to Conspiracyville, and it's just shocking. We've been talking about how poor the ratings have been, and without looking, I already know the viewership of basketball on Sunday was definitely up. Everybody's ears were perked. You had the entire globe talking about how wild this trade was. So, is there some higher influence there? Like, was this done with Adam Silver's hand in it in a way to assist the Lakers? People are saying that this could be a trade that, although it helps Dallas now, it allows them to be the first team to be relocated to Vegas. If the Vegas team ends up being like a team that moves from a different city, or if they do the expansion team, then what I'm saying is kind of null and void. But is this like let's get your main superstar out of here? Anthony Davis has got maybe 4 or 5 years left if we're hopeful. And in 7 years, they're moving to Vegas. I don't know. It's tough. That conspiracy to me is tough because they just made it to the finals, and I don't think you could ever do that to a team that made it to a finals that recently. But that's what some of the articles are saying. As far as like, was this staged? Was this a trade in which there's more that we don't know, but that we will find out, and this will eventually be a 30 for 30 documentary. Who knows? I'd like to think it is because of how random it was.
Yeah, it was super random. There are reports coming out that executives in the NBA are furious that no one knew that he was available. Right, like the Lakers just made this bid and they got it. It's crazy, man, because like I'm sure because that's what I thought immediately as a Knicks fan. I'm like, we couldn't fucking get Luka. I know I've said this a bunch of times already, but to me, it's like if a Mikal Bridges and a Durant at that point of his career went for that, Luka should go for 3 times that, right? And if we're looking at it from a betting perspective, it was really interesting to see Mavericks go from 20-1 to 40-1 after this trade. That iconic number of 40-1.
Yep.
And the Lakers go from 40-1 to 20-1. So they completely switched, right? And look, if you want to get into like the nitty gritty, how, defensively the Mavericks improved, defensively the Lakers got even worse than they were already. Because like I said before, they got 3 guys now that can't play defense. I think the craziest thing is the fact that Luka's a Laker and nobody knew about it. It happened so quickly. It happened out of nowhere. There was never a rumblings out of Dallas that Luka's on the block. Like we didn't even get that leaked. It was just, that's why everyone thought it was hacked.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because to me, I always defer to this whenever a trade happens in any sport, at any level. Bro, when I play fantasy football, I think this. When I look at trades go down in real life, any league, did I get the best player in the deal? I won it. That's how I view it in anything. If I trade you 4 guys for 1 guy, but I got 2024 Saquon Barkley, I won the trade. I lost my wide receiver 3, the tight end 1, and my quarterback. Whatever. I got the best player in that trade. That's how I always view it. And if you're the Lakers, you got the best player maybe in the league in this trade.
Yeah. Do you think that the Lakers have a legitimate shot at winning the West and making it to the finals just to come in second place to the Celtics?
I mean, bro, the wrestling fan in me, like, isn't this fantasy booking Lakers Celtics? Luka gets his revenge on the Celtics. Lakers Celtic rivalry. LeBron gets his 5th ring. LeBron's history with the Celtics. Like, bro, Vince McMahon would have this booked. Obviously we're being silly, but like the storyline is amazing. To have this. I don't know. I still think that the Thunder are better. I still think that, and when you look at the standings, I still think that, it's awfully reminiscent to a couple of years ago when the Grizzlies were the 2 seed and the Lakers came in and then the Lakers beat them.
Right.
Like, I don't know how many people are afraid of the Rockets. I don't know how many people are afraid of Memphis. I think they're afraid of the Thunder because they did it last year too. Right. Like, they're only a year better. I still like the Thunder to win the West. But, if you're one of these teams at the bottom tier, like the Lakers are in 5th right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think if you're the Lakers, you want to try to avoid Denver until maybe later. But, if you're one of these teams in the play-in games, I don't think you're afraid of Memphis and Houston because it's unproven with them.
Right.
Like the Thunder, I still would say it's the Thunder versus everybody in the West. And then in the East, even though it hasn't looked great, I'm still leaning towards Boston. I think Boston is not playing with house money. That's not the right term, but I think they're like, let's just get to April.
Yeah.
We'll turn it on. Oh, we got to go play in Cleveland. Whoop-de-doo.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be fine, right? So I still think it's Boston and the Thunder on the NBA preview show I did with Combo. Shouts to Combo's Court. I said Thunder Celtics to be the finals was 11-1 at the time. Now it's plus 370. You're taking the 2 chalk teams in from a betting standpoint. And that's another thing to look at too, right? Like, even though the Cavs are 5 games better than Boston minus 110 to win the East, Cavs plus 400. Kind of tells you all you need to know there.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And then the same thing with the West. The West is a little tighter, like 1 through 6. But for the most part, I don't think that they win. I don't think. Now, can they get a buyout guy, like a buyout big to come over and then maybe help? Sure, that'll change things, but for the time being, I think that the Lakers are set up for post LeBron more so than they are for this year.
Yeah. I shout out to Rob Pelinka. I think you have to imagine that he really massaged this deal. To keep something like that under wraps. I mean, it's like military like. It's like they executed a fucking drone strike in the middle of the night without anybody knowing. Osama bin Laden fucking, SEAL Team 6 shit. Where does this help him, like, in his overall ranking as an NBA exec?
Well, I think it just buys you time, though. I think more than
sure.
anything, it's like, dude, I got us Luka for not much.
Yeah.
And again, Anthony Davis is amazing, but he's injury prone. He'll be 32. Him and I share the same birthday. Shout out to March 11th. So he'll be 32. He's already had all these injuries. As you get older, you're not going to all of a sudden not have nagging injuries. So that's going to linger with him. Luka will be 26 by the end of this season. And again, I think LeBron takes him under his wing. He's already, all the tweets have surfaced of like one of his favorite players to watch. The iconic photo of Klay Thompson was talking about it last week, how Kobe Bryant, rest in peace, he went to, he got out the house. He wasn't really going to Laker games like that, but he got out to go see Luka, spoke to him in his native language because Kobe knew so many languages. That iconic photo. This would be a good time to show the photo, Dom, when you're editing this. But I think if you're Pelinka, to answer your question, it's like, yeah, bro, I just got you Luka. I'm going to let me buy some time. And they're the Lakers, bro. They'll somehow find a way to land another name eventually to pair him up with a Luka.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But I think also, just to put a bow on this conversation, man, it's one of the wildest trades ever because of where Luka is in his career. Now, the defense I'll give the Mavericks. If in private Luka told them, yo, in a year and a half, I'm out. I'm not re-signing. Even though apparently he bought like a $12 million house in Dallas not too long ago, earlier this year.
Wah.
If he told them, yo, I don't like, which is weird too, bro. As I think of it, I can't even defend the take because like they just went to the finals, right?
It's like the team is.
It's not like they went 27 and 53 or 55, whatever it would be. Like this team just went to the finals. So to me, I think the only way to justify this is if Luka told them, yo, I'm not re-signing with you guys. Trade me as soon as you can to get something good. And the best that they could find was Anthony Davis. And maybe Luka was even like, yo, I want to go play in L.A. Again, I'm just trying to make a case for Dallas to justify it.
For sure. I think it could also be we're tired of J Kidd. Like, I don't know what the relationship is like. It seemed pretty like they were at each other's throats in that press conference. J Kidd was very tight-lipped. He didn't, as he should have been. It's not like you should be up there fucking smiling. But I think that the GM was smiling and he was happy about the move. And when you don't have them on the same page, the writing's on the wall. Hey, I'll give you Anthony Davis. You have the rest of this year. Deuces. Rebuild.
Yeah. Competitive rebuild.
Correct.
Yeah. Right now they're in a play-in spot for the playoffs. Yeah, it's going to be interesting, man. And the trade deadline is later this week. Knowing the NBA, they're probably going to announce some more crazy shit to still be relevant during Super Bowl week.
Yeah.
The NBA got their shit jacked from the NFL on Christmas.
True.
Like the NFL took over Christmas. So maybe they're like, yo, it's Super Bowl week? Bam, here's this crazy fucking trade right before Media Day, leading all of SportsCenter, leading all the talk shows.
Yep.
So it's going to be interesting to see what plays out the next couple of days. And hopefully nothing crazy happens before you guys hear this episode. But let us know what you guys think. Tag us. Show us that you're listening. All things Veterans Minimum are at Veterans Minimum. We're about to take a quick little break and come back with Bill Krackomberger to talk about the Super Bowl bets, props, and everything in between. We are back in the building. No high fives today because we have a very special guest, very important guest to the sports betting community. I'm going to let our good friend, George Carmona, Mr. George Carmona, introduce who our special guest is.
Yeah, no. Sitting to my right is the man that has laid the foundation for me in the sports betting world. He was my first ever guest on the podcast I used to host, Gridiron Junkies. I am more than honored to say that I have his insights if I ever need them. And I also have the ability to be like, Bill, if I got to hedge a fat fucking bet, I'm calling Bill Krackomberger.
Hey, that's cool.
go.
Yes.
Thanks for having me on, guys. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. No, it's
Thank
an
you for
honor.
those nice words.
Yes.
Very nice.
Yes.
I told you, Bill, the first time that we met that I have watched that documentary Action so many times.
Cool.
And you were like the big feature. You were the biggest personality on that show. And now to be able to have you on the show a second time, hopefully this time you're not giving us out punter props like you did last year.
Is that what I did?
Yeah, with Warren Sharp.
Was he here? Oh, he was here with me.
Yeah.
Wow.
It
Were they
was so
bad?
la-
Were they bad? Did they give out some bad stuff, Warren?
You give out good info, but the
Yeah.
punter stuff, you know.
Oh.
We want a little more
It was
spicy.
the longest punt or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, last year I broke out about even on the props. It's really weird. Even though 2 years ago I won, but I mean, I just went to dinner with someone that told me that I gave him 20 plays 3 years ago and they went 17-3. I was like, come on, I don't remember even doing that. Yeah, so listen, they're proposition bets, they're player prop bets. They're not regular bets where I know I have an edge on them. I know what I have done to sports books on props over the years. I know why I get thrown out of so many sports books just for using my brain, not doing anything wrong, betting proposition bets, which they can't price properly. It's not an efficient market like an NFL side or a total. It's not like that. There's a lot of eyeballs on the spread on the game. So, the props, listen, Thursday night, Westgate put up 500 props. They can't, even though there's a team of those guys there, they can't price them all correctly. You can't get 500 player props correctly. You're going off of maybe last year's they have a grid of what they had the previous years. They use that, put the new players in, or some of the same players as far as Kansas City, and put in their prop numbers from this year. But they can't price them all correctly, even though DraftKings, FanDuel, BetMGM, and Caesars came out Sunday night of the championship games. They were ready.
Yeah.
They came out with the props already. The bulk of them Sunday night, Monday morning, and the entire country got to see what the props were. So I really didn't think I was going to have that many opportunities at Westgate when the lines opened up, and sure enough, I actually wound up having about 10 different plays. I didn't expect that opening night. You're allowed to put 2 plays in, go to the front of the line, go to the back of the line now, wait in line again, 2 more plays, same thing. So I had a...
Why did they do that?
Well, because they give everyone a fair chance to get out the lines. I understand. Like, perfect example. One of those props I wanted, I was 8th in line. I think I was 10th in line. The guy 8th in line, even though I was there first, I don't know why I didn't get on line first. But yeah, so the guy that was 2 in front of me, he got the bet Pacheco minus 8.5 yards more than Gainwell. And I wanted that one. He got it. Just so happens 550 props, one of the sharp guys in front of me. You know, I had a fade about, 18 props, and sure enough, they hit on one of them. I believe that was they moved it to 10.5, and it was probably still a good bet, but I just thought there was other opportunities to bet before that one. So yeah, there was a really good one that I really liked. And that's going to be available again probably the day of the game. Usually I'll bet 70% of my props the day of the game if I'm betting unders. The overs I want to bet early because everyone bets props early. The overs, the public comes in town, and the sports books actually will adjust even on public money. So $50 or $100, every $50 or $100. And then the public actually in volume will move those lines. Believe it or not, 100, 200, 500, 800,000. especially on the marquee players. They're coming in, they're
Right.
betting over on everything. They're betting over Barkley, over Kelsey, over Mahomes. They're betting over on everything because it's fun to bet over. It's boring. My way of betting is very boring. I'm betting under. I want little or nothing to happen. And, you know, that's the way it was in the old days anyway. Sometimes I will bet over on things now. I have adjusted and evolved a little bit where I'll bet probably I'll go to that number again. I'll probably used to bet about 90% unders, probably about 70% now. So I will bet some overs also.
Now, do you think that's also happened because of how football has changed, just the way it's played?
Probably. And then you got a marquee player like Barkley. I mean, listen, this particular, you know, Super Bowl, I'm actually going under on them. But there's situations you could bet. Oh, listen, Kelsey steps up to these type of plays and these type of games. It's funny. 2 games ago, I had over on Kelsey. Last game, I had under. And it just so happens I actually ran a little lucky there. They didn't even target him at all because he was being double teamed too a lot.
Yep.
So this situation, I don't know if I'm going to be going under on Kelsey in this situation. Not that I'm going over, but I know I'm going under on Barkley props. So like my favorite prop at the Westgate was longest rush under 25.5 yards, and I bet it a couple times. And I'll tell you, I seen it yesterday again in the sports book.
Yeah.
And I think I'll see it Sunday again because who else is betting under on Barkley after the first rush last week was like 60-yard touchdown, you know, moving and shaking and moving around. So, like I said, I'm betting for I'm betting this to make a living. I'm not betting it because I like a player or I'm a fan of the team or a fan. You know, it's funny. I just wrote this down at dinner. It's going to be in my notes. It's the last thing I said. Just now, someone at dinner, a buddy of mine at dinner asked me if I wanted the Chiefs to win because of their dynasty. I nearly choked to death at dinner. Like, do you think I care about their dynasty? No, I mean, I couldn't. Like, this is a sharp guy, too. Like, pretty. Not that he doesn't bet a lot of sports, sharp guy, but he's just in general a pretty sharp guy. Plays poker for a living. That may explain it, but no, plays poker for a living. No, pretty sharp guy. He says, "Do you just want them to win for their destiny? Destiny? Do you think I care about anyone on the team? I don't care what happens to them after the game. They don't care about me. It goes back to the Bronx Tale.
Yeah.
Do you think Mickey Mantle cares about you? You're crying about Mickey Mantle, kid? See if your father can't pay the rent.
Well, it's
Mickey will pay.
Yeah.
Right. You don't care about you. What do you care about him? I don't care about the players.
It's the gambler's fallacy, right? Saquon Barkley's birthday is on Sunday.
Game.
He's turning 28. Plus 280 is for him to score 2 touchdowns and to win MVP. So everyone's connecting all the dots.
Wonderful.
You know what I mean? So it's always really interesting. I want to ask you a question, Bill, just your approach when it comes to this, because we've been talking about how Barkley, Kelsey, Goddard, they have amazing matchups in the Super Bowl. Like, that's the way their offenses would want to attack the Chiefs defense or the Eagles defense. So everybody is hitting their overs. I would tend to go the other way, but I think the matchup also helps. Right. And that's how, if both those teams want to be successful. Does that ever play a role in it, or are you just strictly numbers?
No. Listen, like I said, me and my team actually get together and we'll play some overs on certain things. Just that from what we're reading, and we do have a reader that reads everything, scours newspapers, but more important, I say newspapers, online sites. It's those beat reporters that mean everything. It's the beat reporters mean everything, and he reads everything what he sees coming out of these. I don't want to call them camps now at this time of the year, but they're going to be focused. Supposedly, they're focusing tremendously on Barkley. So they're going to be looking to stop him, and I'm hoping I can find what I found last week. Last week I found under 125.5 at South Point, 124.5 under on his yards. Of course, when the first offensive play of the game, he reels off a touchdown, bobbing and weaving, moving and shaking. I said, that ticket's done. Well, I actually won. Yeah. Because he only had 55 more yards or 50 yards the rest of the game. And he sat a little bit in the fourth quarter, which he should have. They had a comfortable lead. And again, if he has a good game this week, I'm going to lose that prop. I'm going to lose those couple of props. I'm probably going to bet under 2 if I find a good number on his yards. Right. But big deal. So I'll have 30 more props in the bank to worry about.
You said you were firing off, though, earlier today. Yeah. And I figure you would want to be looking for, like, the later in the week type bets.
You're right.
So, like, what's the...
Yeah, you're right. I didn't expect... Matter of fact, So I went to my safe deposit box earlier, got some chips, and I had to go back to the box. I didn't expect that because I didn't think there would be that much stuff. Some of these things you could see them on the apps on some of them, but yet others like MGM, you go to. It's weird how certain line sets are different than the app or different, and there was one that was different on the app tremendously. It was like, what was that over 1.5 field goals by Butker. It was minus 135 on the app already there. So I said, I'll get to there later. There's other 25s around town. And I get to the MGM, and it's minus 125 at the window, but 35 on the app. It's really weird. Guess what? The kiosk was 30. So I don't even listen. BetMGM is pretty good to me, so I'm not down on them. I'm just saying they have different line sets. Even when I go to the Brigada in Atlantic City, it's a different line set, their app, than the computer.
Yeah.
I don't even William Hill, same thing. William Hill, they stop me from betting on the app here. They limit me to a penny at Caesars. Literally nothing, $100, $50. But it was a different line set. William Hill, the Caesars. I don't know if that's been corrected. I haven't been allowed to play there in about a year. Again, for using my brain, I bet. Believe it or not, I bet a same game parlay, which is normally a sucker bet.
Whoa, you bet a parlay?
Yeah, it's a same.
You okay?
Well, it was very correlated. So a player on Twitter, I read this. On Twitter, I read a player wasn't going to play the full amount. He was injured, but he wants to keep his consecutive game streak going. So I bet a same game parlay, $200 to win $1,400. $1,200 profit it was. Actually, it was $1,200 profit. Caesars threw me out for betting that.
Whoa.
They say, you knew about this and we didn't. That's what they said. You knew about this, we didn't, so you're getting penalized and thrown out because you bet something that we didn't know about, but you knew about it. Isn't that the goal of every single sports bettor when they go to a counter?
Yeah.
They think they have an edge on something?
For sure, yeah.
Well, that's the purpose of betting. So
yeah, and also you said it was on Twitter.
It was on
so
Twitter.
It wasn't a secret.
A lot.
It was
That's
out
what
there.
happened. They got hit multiple times on Twitter. From Twitter, I heard, and that's why they threw me out. But it doesn't matter. You can't keep me out. I'm always going to beard in. It's stupid, actually. So now you don't know it's Bill Krackomberger betting. Now you just don't. And now it takes you a longer time to figure that guy's sharp. So when they throw that guy out, no, got to just find someone else. My man.
Dude,
Let's
hey,
go.
I can hold the duffel bag.
Yeah. So
The guy, a guest that we had on last week, David Hill, was actually explaining the exact.
I like him.
The exact same thing that you're talking about
He's
now. He is amazing, and I think that's the greatest downfall that will happen in sports betting in 2025 is that, like, the big whales are just going offshore because they don't want to have to deal with the bullshit, and a lot of these books around the country are hurting because of it.
Well, you say offshore. So offshore means, do you post up at Bet Online and Bovada and Bookmaker? Do you post up your money and it's under your name? Or do you find people that have it's called PPH, pay-per-head sites. Do you find them to bet for you? They give you the account and you bet on credit. You don't put no money up. And then you're faced with, you're betting on credit. And what happens is, after the bookmaker who's booking, because it's every individual, it's half the poker rooms in town. They're all bookmakers, players. So at least they think they are. So now they say, oh, wait a minute, you won. Oh, timeout. You won. And you're betting props. Oh, and you laid 2.5 on Virginia Tech and the line closed 4. Oh, you bet with a different IP address. Oh, wait, hold it. You mean to tell me you're betting Steam? Oh, my God, wait a minute. Oh, you're betting with a bot. Oh, my God. There's so many excuses for these fugazi, half-ass bookmakers out there not to pay. It's so hard for guys like me to even make a living anymore betting with the offshore world because no one wants to pay. So that's some real stuff there, guys. That most people, you can't really have guests on this show that's going to probably tell you something like that because, there's the world out there is filled with fugazis. It's filled with people that are in the space that give out games that don't bet. People that are in the space that are beautiful girls and guys and walking around and hugging in beautiful bodies and that sells. I understand that sells, but I'm looking to make a living, and I'm looking to teach people too, and I'm looking to make people learn from me. I give out nuggets of information every week on my own Twitter feed, on the shows. I try to teach people too. And what do I teach? Off of what? Off of me being a loser. That's right. I was a loser. I was a loser way before I was a winner.
Right.
You know, I grew up back east. We're all betting sports since we're little kids. Parlay cards, they were called. They were little. I mean, and then betting with the local bookmaker, getting yourself jammed up in trouble. I did it all. I've been through everything. So I'm making people learn off my playbook and maybe not make the mistakes I made along the way. But it's very tough because these advertisements and stuff you see. I always say the same thing here. If you go to like a stadium, let's use Dodger Stadium, left field, center field, right field, there's advertisements for sports books. They don't even have legalized gambling, but they do now in California. They do these Kalshi apps and stuff. They're going legal. What they're calling it pricing in markets now, and they're putting in stock terms, buying and selling contracts. It is actually sports betting. Just started, by the way, last week. People don't even know it
Wow.
yet. People don't even know it yet.
Yeah, because that was one of the big states that they needed to get.
It just started. Their sports betting is now legal.
Yeah.
Let's just call it what it is. Let's use the street term. Sports betting is legal now in California. It's going to be done through this Kalshi app who took bets on the election. As a matter of fact, you would have went up and down the strip. You've seen everywhere Donald Trump odds with Kamala Harris up and down the strip. And people were saying, what is that? Where do you bet that at? It was the Kalshi app, and it was Interactive Brokers stock app. And you buy contracts, which can be, which is actually, it's the same as sports betting. It's just a little bit, terminology is a little bit different. Somehow California, the whole country actually approved it. So there was legalized sports betting, legalized betting on the election in every state nationwide. Yeah. People don't realize that. Yeah.
I wanna just go back just a little bit because from following your content all these years and getting to know you also, I love people that troll, but I also love backhanded compliments. And George, you saw how many backhanded compliments he rattled off before about, the posers and the fugazis. What's the biggest issue Bill Krackomberger has with the sports betting space right now?
It would be the kids that are on, not the Twitter space so much so, the Instagram and TikTok that are just showing fancy cars and pretty girl on your arm and gold jewelries and the fancy sunglasses, the fancy clothes. And they're saying it's from sports betting win. I've watched interviews where they went up to the car. How'd you make your money in life? Oh, I bet sports for a living. Follow me. Come on, it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. Very rare. I even curse on shows, but I heard him curse. He said the F word.
Oh yeah, we got the E right next to the logo, so you're good. You can rattle them off.
Okay, good.
You're safe.
No,
there.
but they are. There's so many people out there that are selling games on their I see these things on Twitter all the time. You block them all the time. Fixed games. They automatically find their way into your threads, into your post.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys have ever had it, but I have it.
Yeah.
Every day I have it.
English third league soccer. It's gonna be
fixed,
the correct score.
Fixed game, correct score.
Yeah.
And it's real simple. I like what Twitter does now. You can actually not only block the person, you could get rid of their reply, which I didn't know. That's something pretty new. Did you guys know that?
Yeah.
Oh, you do know it. You can hide their reply.
Hide it.
I hide it because I don't want people to see that are new in the space that are coming to, you know what I mean? The fixed games here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even listen, I sell games. I'll be the first to tell you. I sell real stuff. I sell proposition bets. I sell, things that are real. And I don't even promote it. Like, you guys won't even get it. I'm not even going to promote. I go on my Twitter all the time. You don't see, people don't even know I sell games.
Yeah.
It's just,
I'm
a terrible self-promoter.
I wouldn't have guessed.
Yeah.
Because I know so much of your stuff is free.
I'm a terrible self-promoter. Terrible. And I give out a lot of free stuff. Yeah. I just gave you one of the best props in the Super Bowl to bet. That's one of the best props that there is out there that I bet thousands and thousands of dollars on. I'm not charging no one for it. I'm just telling you what it is. And, that was a real good prop. And you're going to find it again game time. You're going to find 20. I seen 25.5 minus 15 today. So, yeah. So, I mean, listen, but still though, there's haters out there. Is that the word you said? What did you say? There's people out there I got to block every day. Maybe not every day.
Yeah.
But it's real simple. If you say something stupid, I'm going to block you on Twitter. I'm going to block you off my YouTube page. Now you don't get to see it anymore. So if you were learning anything, or if you liked anything, now you're blocked for life. Now you can never get to see it again. I don't have to trouble you with my presence. I don't have to trouble you with whatever I say, because to be real blunt, I'm no tough guy. I got Palmolive fans. See the hands? Palmolive fans. No, but I always tell people, I'm around town. You got something to say. You want to talk something out. Say it to my face and under a real name. Don't say it under a Fugazi stupid, anonymity account.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's all tough guys out there. You know what it is? It's either jealousy or it really is. It's that they have so many problems in their own life.
That's
There's
always
so
what
many
it is,
problems they have. It's misplaced rage. They can't make money. They can't pay their bills, their credit card bills. And they're saying, look at this guy. He makes money out there in the I guess. But, I had old-fashioned parents from back east. My parents always taught me if you have nothing nice to say, just don't say it. I'm not saying I don't say things sometimes that are a little bit off color and rub someone the wrong way. But I don't try to. I'd rather talk it out with
good
them.
intention in mind.
Yeah,
That's
but
what's
I'm very
most important.
spontaneous though too, and it's cost me money, without a doubt. It's cost me money in my life because I kind of say it like it is. If I have a problem with, I do a show downtown at Circa, and I do a show at Circa with the Circa in the background. Sometimes I get mad at Circa for certain things. Put lines up last. How can we be the Circa? And my preseason football is coming up at the Westgate, or even let me just use this. Let's use the playoffs. How can the Westgate be the first sports book in this town to come up with the lines on last week's 2 games, championship games? It's Bet Online offshore, Chris offshore, and one sports book in Vegas, the Westgate, for 20 minutes. That's impossible. How can Circa not put the lines up?
Right.
But I'll tell you right now, Circa, one of the best places in the world to watch games.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Unbelievable. It's unbelievable. You go in there, it's like, wow, the adrenaline's running. You can't wait to get to the counter and blow your money.
Yeah, sports heaven for sure.
No, it's
without a
great.
doubt.
Circus
Yeah.
great. And the restaurants are good. And I love Derek Stevens. So I just told you good and bad. Like, I'm going to tell you like it is both ways. I'm not going to, oh my God, I'm in their place. And,
But what Caesars did was fucked up.
Oh, Caesars is terrible.
I'm
a 7-star.
I mean,
I got a $100,000 credit line on the property to bet if I want to be an idiot and blow it and playing table games. Besides blackjack, they don't let me play blackjack anywhere. But if I want to bet baccarat, I can do it. But I can't bet $100 on a sports game. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's pretty dumb.
Crazy.
Especially because we know we had on another guest earlier this year, Mozzie, who has bet $1 million on the Chiefs twice this year and won both times at Caesars.
Who's that? Who's the guy?
Mozzie,
VS.
VS. Mozzie VS.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It can't be a winning better rush. I would think I would know him.
Yeah.
Is he sponsored by like one of those things, Prize Picks or something like that?
No, I think he just bets. He just bets on his own.
I shouldn't say nothing about the guy. I don't know him. I really shouldn't say that.
But no, I mean,
I
it's
don't mean
just,
to say that.
It's just
He's a big
interesting.
bettor, and he bet that kind of money. Good for him.
Yeah, I mean but that's the thing that confuses me about sports books out here, and where they're.
So anyone betting $1 million on a game, you're supposed to have. He's supposed to have 50 million at least. 50 million, which he might, and that bankroll's going to grow from 50 to 51 if he wins, to 55 to 60, and now you're still betting 2% of your bankroll, 1.2 million on the next bet.
Interesting.
Yeah, so as long as your bankroll grows, your bet size can grow. So if you're betting $1 million, you must have 50 million. If you don't have 50 million, then it's going to be gambler's ruin. With the sharpest information in the world, with the king's information, with anything you have in the world, you'll go broke betting that kind of money if you only have 5 million or 10 million. Yeah.
That's valuable.
What's a bet people make that frustrates you? Whether it's Super Bowl, future, what is it? What's a bet?
I can't teach people about these parlays. I just can't. I can't teach them enough. It doesn't. So I kind of wave the white towel, probably around 3/4 of the way through NFL season. I host a nationwide show on Fox on the weekends, nationwide sports betting show on Fox Sports Radio with Jeff Schwartz, my buddy, my co-host, 9-year in the NFL. He played. Brian knows, a setup guy. So we're nationwide on the weekends, and I just you can't teach people though. No matter what, they're still going to bet their parlays. They're still going to bet their little $20 parlays to win 10,000 because the sites advertise. Oh my God, this guy bet a $5 parlay and he won 37,000.
Yeah.
This guy bet a $10 bet and he won 200,000. So they hang that out there. It's impossible to win. I mean, it obviously someone did hit it once, so it was something that paid, maybe 2,000 to 1 that should pay 12,000 to 1. So it just so happens he got lucky and he hit it. So they used that to advertise that someone won with us, and it's difficult to watch, to be honest. I see these kids that they see this and they say, "Oh, I could do that." And it's only going to be $5 or $10. Well, 5s or 10s adds up to 20s, 40s, 100s, thousands. Borrowing off your parents, selling stuff from the house. Trust me.
Yeah.
It leads. A little thing can spiral out of control, especially if they have the online casino. Now we're in a jurisdiction you don't even have that, but like you live in Jersey and you're playing at night after the lights go out and even the kids go to bed. You're firing in the casino.
Yeah.
You're saying, let me just try $20. Well, let me put 100 in.
Let me try to
play
win
some
this
blackjack.
back. Yeah,
We'll
yeah,
try to get that back, that 20. And I'll quit. I'll never play again.
Yeah.
And what's the most famous words that everyone says when you're younger and say, God, let me just get even. I won't gamble no more. Just get even. Let me get out of here even. It's really a spiral, a downward spiral. It's so sad. And the online casinos have destroyed people's lives. I'm talking about not just guys. I'm talking about, homemakers and moms and people in the safety of their house when the lights are out, the kids are in bed, husband's in bed, and the housewife's on the couch firing on slots. Or the husband's on the same thing in the bed doing the same thing. Mm-hmm. It's ruined people. The gambling 1-800-GAMBLER call centers they're overloaded so much they can't hire enough help because there's only so much money dedicated for responsible gambling that it's unbelievable. There was a great article in ESPN a couple of years ago. I can't believe ESPN did this. Now that they have ESPN Bet, I'm sure they won't do it. But ESPN had a reporter interview Connecticut, the Connecticut call center. And it was so revealing. It's great. It's free. You can Google it and look for it. It's an ESPN article on out of control gambling in Connecticut. And the head of the call center was like, "I can't keep people. There's so many people calling us every night. They're Foxwoods, Mohegan Sun. By the way, I love those casinos. I'm not saying nothing bad about them. I love them. I go to them. And I even lose money in the casino. I lose money playing video poker at Foxwoods. I'm a losing gambler there. But DraftKings, they got no chance to beat me. I'm going to beat them at the counter. They do take my bets long term. But that's what's going on gambling. It's hard to believe you have someone on the show that gambles for a living, talks about gambling all the time, sells games, and now he's talking about responsible gambling. It's probably hard to believe. It is. I try to teach them off I wouldn't want my kids. I have no children. I wouldn't want my kids though doing what I do.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even want them gambling. I wouldn't let them grow up in a gambling town. This town is Vice Central, brother. Drinking, drugs, woman, gambling.
Yep.
I mean, I'm just saying. This is Vice Central. If you have any leaks at all.
Mount Rushmore of vices.
Oh, if you have any leaks at all. Yeah. And I'm not saying, trust me, I'm not saying I'm the poster boy for life.
Right.
I eat like I'm going to the electric chair.
It took you a while to get to this position too, right? Like you were saying before, how in the beginning, I've told the story so many times. I've had to sell sneakers, Xboxes in the past because I grew up. Yeah, I grew up.
It's really nice of you being open to your people here, though.
Yeah,
you've talked about this on the show.
Oh yeah, we talked about it many times.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's easy. Like for you, probably. I don't want to speak for you, but at least for me, I say that I dropped out of college because I fell in love with content creating and sports betting, and I love the field. And it's easier to say now because I turned it into something. You know, if I didn't, I don't know if I would leave with that, Bill. You know what I'm saying? So we've always preached about being transparent, and that's one thing that you do. Like
I'm transparent.
If you're on your Twitter, I'm on your Twitter right now. There's screenshots of ticket slips. All this stuff, like constantly, you're just showing
constantly
your bets
talking
too.
about
and and one thing, like we even see it too, right? Because we'll talk about our favorite bet of the week was against Houston. It was Kelsey's yardage over, right? Mm-hmm. Gets about 900 views. We do a anytime parlay for the weekend, 500,000 views. Yeah. So to your point, that's the big appeal now. It's the anytime touchdown score. It's the $25 to pay your rent. Like that's what people want in the content space. So have you been able to juggle the content creator bill and the sports bettor bill?
Even though I put nice videos out of some restaurants and stuff, I don't know how to do what the content creators do and show videos of the food, talk over it, back and forth, putting clips together. I don't know how to do any of that stuff. I'll just tell you real stuff that I don't get paid to do. I walk in a restaurant if I like it. I went to 888 Barbecue, Japanese barbecue on Decatur and Spring Mountain, and it was like all you can eat premium meats and sushi, and it shocked me. I was like, wow, this place is really good, guys. You want to come? For $34. This is unbelievable. And I just put it on there, but I really don't know how to do videos of showing food I just tell you what it is from a real point, from someone who doesn't get paid for anything. The ones that are out there, the big influencers, they get paid to put it on there, like, and show the food. True. And by the way, I love them. I learned things from them. We have a couple of people in town here. There's a girl, Vegas Starfish. There's Las Vegas Phil. There's podcast I watch with Shin, Shin. There's another one with Danny the Medic. I love watching their food reviews of Vegas. They're all four of them are all Vegas stuff. I learned things from that stuff from them. But yeah, it's funny. I really don't watch any TV. I watch nothing fictional, especially during football season. Very hard to watch anything fictional. Someone asked me the other day, what's the last fictional show you've seen? I don't know if it was even fictional. It was probably the Breaking Bad series.
Yes.
Like 12, 13 years
My favorite of all time.
It was probably, that's probably the last fictional thing. But it wasn't, it couldn't have been, it could be real. That's why I watched it. I just liked it. Before that might have been Sopranos. I don't watch any new, like all these say, oh, you got to watch, I got a list of things like Landman or something like, I never got to it. I'll never get to it probably. There's like 10 of them. Like, oh, you got to watch these things. But I do like watching documentaries on Netflix. I'll watch a documentary. The new OJ one just came out, brand new, 2 nights ago. Just came out on that. There's a new 4-part OJ just came out like 2 nights ago. So guys are like, oh, you got to watch that thing. And, we were all obsessed with that case back then. You know what I mean? And so I'll watch that. But as far as fictional things, especially during football season, there's no way I can watch. I watch podcasts every week though. Every week I'm watching to learn. So I'll watch off some of my guys that I respect, some people in the space that I respect that I can learn off of, or just pick up a little nugget of wisdom. Nothing that shows me, bet this, bet that. No. I have that covered. I know what wins. So, but as far as shows, I really don't watch many shows unless I'm learning something. I need to learn something. I need something that's that literally is nonfiction. And my podcast, I listen to Las Vegas type podcasts. I just told you guys some of the food little videos I watched. Actual podcasts for like Las Vegas Advisor. It's free. Anthony Curtis it's unbelievable every week. You learn so much stuff about Las Vegas. Right. What's going on? Right. There's these two kids, M2M, Miles to Memories. I hope I said it right. I watch their podcast every single week. There's just two kids that talk about everything that's going on in Vegas. And it gets like 30, 40,000 views a week. And it's great. And just, it's real stuff. What's going on?
Keeps you looped in with the city.
Keeps you looped in what's going on. And I'll use some of their information. I'll give them the credit for it. And they give me, now they actually found me. They mentioned my name on the show. I almost fell out of the seat. I was like, wow, I didn't even know they knew me. Because I watch, I don't even log in when I don't even have they don't know it's Bill Krackomberger watching. So anyway.
Yeah, no, but the word spreads. Because by the way, I know you were like kind of saying, you don't make the best videos. I think a POV of you filming around the casino is like ultimate content.
Yeah.
It's its own niche where it's not over polished.
And it's also authentic to him.
Yes.
Too.
Yes.
So
yeah.
Okay. Like a perfect example today, I think this is going to be a big video. Will it be? I don't know, but I think it's going to be a big video. It's just me in the casino today, and the casino was so dead. It's so dead. And this guy's a sharp gambler playing that machine. And this guy's a sharp guy playing this machine, knows what he's doing. But the rest of the casino's totally dead except for the bar and the sports book. So I said, wow, this is unbelievable. The only 2 slot machines that are being played by what I call sour rooters, guys that are trying to play bonus machines to get an advantage on. I was like, wow, look at this place. This is sour rooter heaven. You got a sharp guy there, a sharp guy there. You can tell by the machines and what the bonuses are on, and the rest of the casino's totally dead. I was like, wow, look at this.
Yeah, that's also insightful too.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, people want to know, but I get yelled at from the slot pros and like, why are you showing people this? And I don't show them actually how to play.
You
all
just got to tell them mind your business. And don't worry about what I'm doing. That's what I would say.
Again, though, I really don't want to ruin no one's earn. I don't try to put on there how to actually do it or what you're actually looking for. But you can figure it out yourself if you look at the machines. I know I talk and talk and talk.
No,
I'm
I
sorry.
love it. I love it. One
Yeah.
thing I will say, when the time comes for Offensive Player of the Year next year,
Yeah.
you're looking at a 3-time champion. I've called the last 3 in a row Offensive Players of the Year.
Oh, okay.
So when the time comes, I'll shoot you a text since you're a friend of the show.
Really?
now, and yeah,
Good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good stuff. Listen,
It's a good market.
that kind of market, I don't bet into one-way markets often, but like I did bet, I did have a couple things in the past where I thought it was priced wrong, and that's what I'm looking for. But by having so many different sports books, if you look at let's look at the MVP for the Super Bowl. All right, a month ago I was looking at that just to see if anyone priced anything wrong. So I'll have Mahomes plus 150, Mahomes plus 180, Mahomes plus 2-1. Like, you'll look for the best odds. I have a lot of places I bet at.
Yeah.
So I am taking a double-digit house edge and taking it down to single-digit. So when that type of bet, sometimes those futures have 40%, 50% hold. They're ridiculous compared to a straight bet in the NFL, which is 2.5. It's 4.5%.
Right.
So, but me, by having so many places to shop, I'll get that edge down to single digits. And sometimes it will be worth to get something like that from, and I've been very successful on them, and I've been successful by giving them out. I mean, again, it's very rare that I'll ever. I'm terrible at promoting myself, but there is. I'm just because we're talking about the futures market, and of course I can't get on my phone here. Oh, I'm on the Win. The Win app has taken over my thing. That's why. But like I'll send out a future, something like, and like I have a chance to win that. Here, you'll see it. It's sent out to everybody.
Kevin O'Connell,
Right.
Coach of the Year, 20-1.
Right.
Oh, that's a good one.
No, I mean, I'll have a chance to win something like that. I send it to everyone. I sent out a 33-1 shot 2 years ago, and it won. But you have to wait 6 months
Yeah.
for your money to come in. People don't want that. They want instant gratification. They want the money now,
Right.
now.
Very true.
So that's what they want. So I get it. But
Well, we said a couple weeks ago when the playoffs started, there were 2 guys we wanted to bet at the time to win Super Bowl MVP. It was Derrick Henry. He was 30-1.
Yep.
And then Barkley was 30-1.
wow,
So we were on the Ravens and the Eagles. Now you're looking at it, Barkley is plus 280.
Yeah.
3-1.
Yeah.
So sure, Bill, I agree with you because that's a big problem everyone
Yeah.
has, right? Like, I love futures.
yeah, and they love you,
Yeah, absolutely. And listen, if I just bet futures my whole life,
right?
I'd be as successful as you when it comes to sports betting.
Wow, so you're doing that well with those offensive
Futures
players of the
are
year.
my absolute. I'm a beast when it comes to futures, toe to toe, pound for pound champ.
So you'll let them hold your money, and
I love it because
Good.
the way I look at it is I'm a big fantasy football player also. So it's the same thing as fantasy. You pay Labor Day weekend.
that's right.
You give your $300, $400, and
That's
then you
right.
wait until Christmas. All right, now I'm waiting
right.
an extra month.
Yep.
Right. So I have no issues. And
Good
it also
deal.
I become a fan of that team. Right. Like I'm a big Giants fan. I hate the Eagles, but when the Giants lost Barkley to Philly,
Right.
we have videos tuned up from March 14th when he signed with them.
Oh my God.
Guys, he's 30-1 to win Offensive Player of the Year.
Wow.
My audience is sick of this probably, but
Yeah.
most of them are going to
Yeah.
cash on it.
Yeah.
So I'm with you when it comes to
I don't know how that trade even happened. Even before the season he had.
Yeah.
I still said, wow, they got rid of Barkley?
Yeah.
Jesus. Yeah.
We're just down bad, it's rough.
Well, it's-
Do you have a favorite team or do you just
Fuck no.
Yeah.
No way.
Oh, he dropped the F word. He's
No
fine.
way. Very rare F word. No way. I don't care about any team. They don't care about me. I don't care about them. Nothing about them at all.
George, do you have a prop that you like so we could get some expertise over here on how you feel about it as we start
yes.
to wind down the show?
I think in an ultimate twist of events, I think it would be hilarious with how much we've promoted Saquon Barkley for Kareem Hunt to win Super Bowl MVP. He's scored a touchdown the past 4 weeks. It's at 60-1.
I was going to say, what's that, about 1,000-1?
60-1.
Right.
He's going to have the ability to score multiple touchdowns. 60-1.
All right. I'm rooting for you. I don't
Okay.
have any dog in the hunt, so
It would just be also hilarious on Saquon Barkley's birthday and the day after he wins Offensive Player of the Year, Kareem Hunt wins Super Bowl MVP.
just do your shopping. You don't want to take 60-1 on that. I never even looked at it, but I just know that 60-1, you have to get more than that somewhere. So that's why it's so strong to have multiple apps in town,
Very
and
true.
multiple betting. If I can give anyone a suggestion to come to town, you definitely, if you're a serious bettor, and by the way, I say $100 or more is serious to me. So if you're a serious bettor, you should definitely have like the stations, Coast, Win, believe it, Win right here. This is a great app to have. Oh boy, they got some extra half a points on a lot of guys. So it's you definitely should. Well, look, at first place I look, 60-1. So that you might have the proper number there.
It could be. It was the consensus on the Action Network when I looked at it on there. I was like, all right, I like this. Okay, another one that I liked is Juju Smith-Schuster anytime touchdown. The last 4 Super Bowls, Patrick Mahomes has thrown a touchdown pass to somebody with odds of 5-1 or more.
Oh wow.
So
how do you feel about anytime touchdown? I know you touched on it before.
You know, I want to tell you something. I don't give it out to people, but there has been opportunity over the years when FanDuel first opened up. Boy, even though I respect FanDuel's bookmaker, by the way. He's very sharp people at FanDuel that put those lines up. They come up first. FanDuel, DraftKings, Westgate, they're all have the lines up on these games first. FanDuel had some really unbelievable anytime touchdown stuff over the years. So you have to just check, man. Just search. It's really simple. I'm like a lion overlooking the kingdom of sports books, looking for the weak gazelle. That's what I'm looking for.
I like that. That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
We got to get that like worked into like character animation, Nick.
Yeah.
That could add that to the intro.
Oh man,
That's what we're doing.
I like. I'm big on Dallas Goedert this week. I think Dallas Goedert.
Everyone's betting over on this. Matter of fact, the BetMGM sends me a thing because they sponsor my weekend show, and boy, that's like I get an email every day. Like, what's the status of these? Imagine FanDuel sent me an look at this. William joining at $5 grocery dollars. All right, but yeah. So no, it's funny actually. But yeah. So I get Super Bowl betting. And what's going on with the Super Bowl betting here all the time. And that is one of the biggest props that's bet. All these props, that's the highest, believe it or not. That's what they're betting on.
So that's why before earlier in the show,
look,
it was
number one bet, most bet player prop.
Yeah.
Dallas Goedert over 52.5 receiving. 99% of the money bet is on the over. On that bet. That's their biggest risk right now. That's unbelievable.
Yeah. Now, what would you do now that you have that information? Does that steer you to the under?
Of course. The public, everyone's betting over.
Yeah.
Now, I'll look maybe on Sunday to see what the juiciest under is, because let's just face it. And you want to hear that music like the Angels. God protects the bookmaker. God protects the bookmaker. 99% going one way.
Yeah.
Do you know how much money that bookmakers have made over the years over that? I mean, listen, the bookmakers had a losing December booking the NFL. In the NFL. They won overall, but in the NFL. But what they did to people in September and October may never happen again. People didn't have money left to bet in December. They destroyed people in September and October. So, yeah.
I think it was also the Commanders' luck. Too. Do you think that
Commanders had a lot of luck?
Like the
Going
Commanders
for a 4th down and
well, the Commanders winning and being a huge dog.
I love that kid Daniels though.
Right.
Wow, I love that kid. He's great. But yeah, their luck ran out finally. Skill showed. That was a destruction, that game. It could have been worse, that Eagles score.
Well, listen, maybe Dallas Goedert, we don't take the yardage, but I love him to score a touchdown plus 330.
Okay.
That's one that I'm definitely on.
Yeah.
He's the red zone guy for them.
Yeah.
And unless they're on the 2-yard line, then it's a tush push. But
I lean to the over in the game, so I like that. There's going to be like 6 touchdowns in the game. It's supposed to be, according to the line. And, I hope he gets one for you. It's just search around. Search for the best thing. Got it. Listen, where's there a yes-no market? That's what you want to look at.
Yeah.
In other words,
I saw
sportsbooks only put one way. Will this guy get a touchdown?
Right.
Here, I give Circa a plug. Like I said before, I told you something. This is Circa gets a big plug for this. They have every player. Will he score a touchdown? Yes or no? I mean, yes or no on all the players. So you could bet no. And by the way, no is the way to go. No, because there's not going to be. They have 40 guys listed.
Yeah.
There's going to be 6 touchdowns. Maybe. Two of them are by the same player.
No, that's a good point.
Yes, no, touchdown. I love betting the nose on that. But make sure you search around for those touchdowns because there is definitely a market on that you can actually find better odds from place to place to place. That's important. Really important to shop. If you're serious, if you're just having fun, you're betting $5-10 on some things, some pizza money or something, sit in the book. You come into town.
Right.
You're paying $500 for your seat, by the way. This whole town is
Yeah.
price gouging.
Well,
Price
I'll be
gouging,
home.
all
I'll be home for that.
citywide price gouging.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah, even me. I have a 7-star card to go over to Caesars. I'm paying. Yeah, you're paying $200 to sit down. I mean, it's unbelievable. Just sit down and watch the game.
ridiculous.
It doesn't come with anything.
And you're gonna give them money too.
Yeah.
Right? It's not like you're not gonna be betting.
No, it's crazy. It's years ago. You used to come into the sports book, put your jacket down, go to the pool with your buddies for 3 hours, come out an hour before your game where your jacket is. That's where your seat is. That's the party's over.
Yeah, it's over for that.
God, those are the
And
good
Bill,
times.
you're the man. Thank you so much for
Anytime.
your time. I know how busy you are during this week too.
Yes.
If we were to set the line at 150.5, you taking over or under? How many more bets you're gonna make before the?
No, under. I'm not going to make that many.
okay.
Believe it or not. Yeah. No, actual amount of bets, under. Dollar amount, over.
Okay.
No. I'll have a couple hundred more thousand probably bet. But, the sports books are taking some money, man. I go right to this counter at the win. They're taking $3,000. I bet 4,500 on a prop before. It went 3,000. No problem. Come right in. Some places are taking 3,000 and closer to game times. Some places may take 5,000. So even though I won't bet, probably maybe 50, probably 30 or 40 or more props. But if they take some big bets on them, I'm happy. I mean, I like to get down as much as I can on something I really like.
Yeah.
So instead of being limited to a dime or a nickel, that goes to show you though how the market's not priced correctly. Come in this town with all the money you want, dump it out. You could bet it on a side or total, but on a prop bet, you can bet a dime, nickel,
Sheesh.
2 dimes maybe.
Right.
Yeah.
If you're lucky.
Well, let the people know where they can find you on social media and all
At
this
Bill
stuff. you're working on.
Krackomberger on Twitter with a K, on Instagram and TikTok at Crackwins with a K. I do a podcast on every week on YouTube and Spotify, and then I do my show, Nationwide Show, which is going year-round now on Fox Sports Radio. Countdown to kickoff, countdown to tip-off, it's going to be also called during basketball season. That's every Sunday morning.
Amazing. Thank you, Bill.
Thanks, guys.